Le groupe britannique Muse est de passage au Centre Bell dans le cadre de la tournée mondiale de leur plus récent album The Resistance. Énergie s'est entretenu avec le batteur Dominic Howard.
It's been crazy, really, how big the gigs have suddenly become over here in North America. Well, I think it's just time, you know. We've been touring over in this part of the world for about 6 years now, I think, which isn't very long, really. But every time we've come back, the gigs have got bigger, the shows have got bigger, people tell their friends, the audience is double. And that's, really, that's the way it happened everywhere else in the world, because we spend much more time in Europe playing and building up the crowds, and that's how it happened there. It's every time we went back, it got, you know, the shows got bigger, so it's just felt like it's only a matter of time before it happened over here. But certainly this time it's elevated really, really quickly. It's trebled in places. But I guess, you know, the album, we made a pretty good album. The album's done well. People tuned into it and enjoy it, I guess. So it's great to do these kind of shows here, and we have all our production as well, which is wicked. You know, it's great playing to 15,000 people every day, you know, it's a great overwhelming experience, but the small stuff is good as well. I've got very fond memories of, like, you know, 6 years ago, which is kind of not really the very early days, but when the first time we started coming over to this part of the world and touring, we were playing very small clubs. Like the first time we came to Montreal, you know, 500 people, and, you know, or 1,000 people or something like that. Those, you know, that was great days, you know, because it's much more personal. It's more about just the music. It's not about showing off with loads of lasers and videos and stuff. And you can be much more spontaneous and free in how you play live. But, you know, with this show, because we're like moving around on these towers and there's lots of visual content that's very select for the song, you know, the show, I suppose, is quite structured, but it has to be when you've got all this machinery moving up and down, and it needs to be you know, a more of a structured thing. But that's how it becomes more theatrical and more of a big show, and something we're enjoying doing at the moment. Yeah, I mean, we all work on the music together. You know, Matt will come in with an idea for a song or chords or something like that, or a guitar riff, or, you know, some chords on the piano, or and then we get in a room and play together, and eventually you turn it into a song, you know. And so, you know, we all work together quite closely on that, on putting the whole thing together, turning it into something that is, I suppose, Muse sounding, and arranging the whole thing. Yeah, that's how we've always worked, really. I mean, sometimes songs just come out of, like, jamming along. We might be messing around on the sound check or just in the studio and playing things, and you know, things can happen very spontaneously as well, like that. So there's no, you know, it's different for most songs. Oh, we have a great relationship with Morgan. He came on board because Chris broke his wrist years ago when we were on the Cure tour. We did the Curiosa tour. And Chris broke his wrist, and we didn't know what to do. We had a very big gig, and we didn't know whether to cancel a gig or get someone else in. And Chris felt comfortable with Morgan playing the bass, because Chris was very influenced by Morgan when he was when Chris was younger, because Morgan's a great bass player. So he came on, he played the bass, and then we found out he could play the keyboards, and we just got on with him really well, and got a lot of respect for his musicianship. So he came on board and started playing the keys, and he's part of the team now. He's part of the team, but it's good to have him around. But it's opened up a lot of doors for what we can do musically live, obviously, because, you know, as we become more ambitious with the album making process, we've needed to use more. We've had to use more instruments on stage, so Morgan can help us do that, play string parts and synth things. So we've kind of gone beyond the 3-piece on the albums anyway.
Grâce à Énergie, des auditeurs ont gagné des billets pour le spectacle et une rencontre privée avec le groupe. Visite la section concours de radioénergie.ca pour vivre toi aussi une expérience unique.